Hey everyone, Sarah here at Three Little Potters. I have a kiln opening today. As you know, I have a lot of pieces that I need to glaze, and I'm going to try to get through as many as I possibly can before I go on vacation. So my last bisque load, I had about 600 pieces in it, and that is going to be probably a very full 3 glaze kiln loads. So let's get into this first one. Okay, here's my top shelf. I have been hustling to get through some Valentine's Day stuff, and that is my small Valentine's Day offering. I did a few Underglaze transfers this time around. Looks cool. I can see right here my soft red and river birch combo is attached to the kiln shelf, but not too bad. All right. Sangria by itself. Been a while. We've been all looking at those new floating glazes, but I still have some sangria, so that is that. This is, what is this? I believe this is bougainvillea with a little bit of snow on the rim, dirty snow. And this is bougainvillea over white. Lavender mist over white. Oh, a teeny bit of crawl on that one. So it's really hard when you're applying the glaze to these sort of heart-shaped ring dishes to not wipe your brush on the edge and get glumps of clay. Clumps. It's early in the morning. And this is fuzzy peach with a teeny bit of sunrise around the edge. June purple and sunrise. And this is June purple and raspberry mist. Soft red with a little bit of sunrise on the rim. I don't love how streaky that one went. I guess it's not bad. I mean, it's a cool dish. I don't know that the soft red works with the floating glazes in quite the way I would like. That is speckled grapefruit with dirty snow over white. Variegated dove gray with raspberry mist on the rim. Laguna, sang de boeuf. And this is strontium gloss with manganese with variegated dove gray on the rim. Sunrise by itself. And this is sunrise over white. And my very pretty but very sad on the bottom soft red with river birch. The river birch over just really disappears into it in like a really cool way. I like that combo. I just apparently have to get my application correct so that it's not on my kiln shelf. This is fruit of the vine over white with dirty snow. And these are that same combo, fruit of the vine. Just really, I really love, I know, I mean, obviously I mix a ton of glazes and do a ton of glazes, but I really do like the Mayco Stroke and Coat line. I think it's a really great line. I have a new Mayco Stroke and Coat in this kiln load. I don't see it yet, but it's somewhere in here. This is strontium gloss with manganese over white. Just a full dip in each one. Boom. Papaya by itself. Working on keeping that papaya a little thinner to keep it more orange. So just 2 brushed coats on that. And again, that's the soft red and river birch. And a similar effect. Maybe I could just thin my soft red down a little bit. It was very hard to get sort of a thin coating on that. Again, dove gray and raspberry mist. I did 2 of that. I don't know. Maybe like if you were in a relationship, you might get 2 that matched. I don't know. I probably should have done 2 of each of all of them, but I didn't. This is My Blue Heaven, and it is a little bit thinned down. I was using up the last of my bottle before I opened the new bottle, so that's over white with Dirty Snow. Okay, I am going to take off. You saw half of this shelf, but this was what was underneath my half shelf here, just so we can get a look at that. So throughout this kiln load, I've got some refires because you remember last time we had the stuck relay and most of my brown bear clay did not love that. So kind of going through that. This here was a Chun Seafoam refire, and it now has Peacock glaze over the Chun Seafoam. Peacock is a new glaze for me, but I've been told it is the base of Mayco's Shipwreck, and I love that glaze. So I think I used that on a bunch of stuff. Well, this came out great. Okay, so this I believe was one of our refires, and I believe this is the Peacock over top of whatever went wrong on it last time, and I believe it was green tea over white last time, and it was really matte. So I see it's got a little flaw, but it looks like a maker's flaw, not a glaze flaw. It looks like I had a bump of clay on there, which will happen. This is nori green. I feel like I should have bought more of that. I don't know if anyone else is worried about the tariff situation, wondering if our things and glazes from Canada are going to go up in price. But yeah, I placed a big Spectrum order last night. I'm like, oh, I really like those Spectrum glazes. So this is Mayco's Micro Pearl. Love that. I did a few of Micro Pearl. Here's one. Loving how that pulls in the bottom and gives a little hint of blue. That is 2 coats. I think that kind of is puddling at 3. So more crystals, a little thicker. Speckled Grapple with Dirty Snow over Studio White. Papaya. Okay. Micro Pearl on this little vase. I've got just a pour of Hansen with taupe stain on the inside. I have a kind of a smallish bucket of that I'd like to just use up on the insides because it's not very exciting glaze. Purple Aster with Dirty Snow. Purple Aster's growing on me. I'm not gonna lie, I might buy that glaze. Speckled Grapple. Fruit of the Vine. It's also got a line of Peacock on it. And that's just over white. I think this actually might be seaweed. I think that's what it is. Sorry, mistelling you. Seaweed. That looks about right. I wonder if it's gonna ping. You know, it's like hard with the commercial glazes because you're never sure of what their expansion is. So when you're adding a flux to a commercial glaze, you're always kind of like listening. Did the overall expansion get too much? Is it going to craze now? I don't hear anything though, so we may be okay. But man, that seaweed with Dirty Snow is really, really metallic and pretty. All right, some Senbao transfers, the watermelon one. Thought it would be cute to have some of these in like one listing. I don't know, maybe they won't sell. Who knows? Just plain little bowls with a pattern on the inside. There's something though about like transfers that makes something look more, I don't know, commercial, like less unique. lemons. This one had, I put parakeet on the outer edge of this one because I thought it might match that inner sort of 70s transfer vibe. What did I put on the outside? Oh, nebula blue. Interesting. Yeah, overall, those are a little more underwhelming than I thought they would be. But all right, this is our first look at speckled purple haze. Lighter than I thought, still pretty. Here it is here. A nice one. I even trimmed the bottom of that ring dish. That speckled purple haze, I was really expecting something quite different. This is Peacock over Dove Gray. Peacock is behaving a lot like many other glazes that I own, so it's a hard one to distinguish right now. And this is Norse blue over white with dirty snow on the rim. Yeah, that peacock looks almost exactly like floating blue when I used that on the rim, so interesting. Okay, this is strontium gloss with manganese, and it has purple aster over top, and I used a little bit of dirty snow. Strontium gloss over white. Midnight and Dove Gray. And those are quick dips of both. So full dip in Dove Gray, which is a teensy rim dip of just that tiny edge there of the Midnight Glaze. Speckled plum over white. And this is soft red and river birch, and this one didn't run, so that's nice. Okay, this shelf looked kind of interesting to me. Liking that bowl. Got some refires. Yeah, interesting. That one's all over the shelf, but that's okay. Now, guys, I have a board balanced on my glaze bucket so that I can just set my glazed stuff right here. All right, let's see if I can remember what I did in here. This is seaweed over white on brown bear clay with dirty snow on that rim. Pretty, huh? Hey, and my bowl didn't split or anything. Nice to see brown bear clay behaving. Okay, this was pretty much a garbage piece from last kiln opening. I thought I might have to throw it away. I think it may be okay now. Maybe at least as a second once I grind it down. I believe the original glaze was micro pearl that didn't like the weird firing schedule, and I put peacock over top of it to try to hopefully fill it in a little bit. Bottom looks interesting. Purple aster over white with dirty snow. Floating celadon over white. I tried to get a little more floating celadon glaze from Spectrum, and that one was also sold out. The only one I found left that I really love out of the new glazes was Fuzzy Peach, so I did get more of that at least. Green tea over white. Lavender mist over white. Cactus over white. Is Merlot over white. Speckled plum over white. Oh no, and I see this one on the kiln shelf. Oh, it's not too bad on the bottom. I think I might be able to save it. That is micro jade. Some of those gold crystals are really pretty. This was a refire. It had like a weird rough patch, and I put soft red over it. It seems to have healed. Seems okay. Well, that's good. So a lot of our refires aren't a total loss. Ooh, seaweed over studio white with a little bit of dirty snow on that rim. And for anyone who's not used to using dirty snow, very light, wispy application just on the top, like so light, like not even a full one coat, just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Which is probably why I use it so much, because it's so quick. It's like, whoosh, whoop, done. Okay, now your glaze is gonna run all over the place. My Blue Heaven, a little too watered down, I guess, and Dirty Snow. I do like that really light blue though. That's pretty. Okay, so the original was Laguna and Laguna Desert Sunset, Laguna Sea Gold. And do you remember it had a dark spot on the inside? And I tried to basically grind that out, and I put more Laguna on, but I worried that it wasn't going to be dark enough to sort of hide the darker colored spot. So then I put more glaze on top of that. And what did I put? What was the other glaze that I put on top of it? I think it may have been peacock. It doesn't make a lot of sense for that color to have come out, but all right. Variegated Dove, Raspberry Mist, and that is the same here. That combo is one of my best-selling combos, so yes, it's getting repetitive. We see it every kiln load, but this is Night and Cactus. Mayco's Ivy over white. Speckled Plum. And this is my Blue Heaven. That is, I want to say that this is Magenta Sky, but I don't believe I even opened it. So it is definitely not Magenta Sky. I think it is Sunrise. Overnight. Peacock over white with Dirty Snow. Tiny bit of crawl possibly on that one. Might hit that one again. Spectrum Floating Celadon over white. Floating Celadon by itself is not that interesting in my opinion. It's just a very, very light green that's just super pale. You could get it with very cheap stain, but over other colors, it really does some interesting things. So yeah, don't count out Floating Celadon. It's an interesting layering glaze if it doesn't look great by itself. Okay, Lavender Mist over white. This was Desert Sunset by Laguna, too thin last time with a spot of crawl. So I went ahead and put some more on. Looks good now. Purple Aster over white. Seaweed over white with Dirty Snow. Love those wisps on the edge too. I think this is Peacock again with Dirty Snow. I'm trying to decide if that little dent in the glaze is worth making it a pottery second or not. Looks like it filled back in. Might be okay. Norse Blue with Dirty Snow. This was a refire. It was Ancient Jasper and it was too thin. I put a little more Ancient Jasper and a little bit of flux on the rim. I think it's okay. It's just brown. You know I'm not a fan of brown, but there are other people who shop at my shop that do like the color brown. So micro pearl. Another micro pearl, yes, and then a tinier micro pearl. Night and cactus. Variegated dove and midnight. Seaweed and white with a little bit of, I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. It's nori green. It's not seaweed, it's nori. They're close. They're close in color. Interesting. Okay, I put ancient jasper on this and I was expecting a darker result. The original was nebulosa with Lynette opal, and I put like, you know, really dark ancient jasper on it, but it just changed the color a teeny bit, but it did sort of melt everything together overall and give a little bit more of that purple hint to it. Teeny bit of, you kind of expect a little bit of running when you're doing refires though. And the last one on this shelf is it Bougainvillea? I believe it is. Here's my cone from this load. Maybe just a teeny bit over a cone 6, close to cone 6 though. All right, shelf 3. A lot of night and a lot of floating blue. A little bit hot. I'm gonna see if I can pull it anyway though. I did a couple of big bowls in my 100 a day. Not very many. I wish I had done more big things so that the glazing wouldn't be so time consuming. That is Night, Floating Blue, and Dirty Snow, and that one is on brown bear clay. I've got a whole bunch of these, so we'll pull some. Some of the patterns coming out fairly similar this time. It's another consistent seller for me, so I usually try to do some of this in every kiln load. But similar enough, makes me wonder if I could get my application down enough that I could list multiples of the same. Sunrise, making some bright sake cups. No, I feel like I'm gonna use up all my bright glazes on that one order and then we won't be able to get any more and it'll be sad. Dove gray and raspberry bisque. This is floating blue over white. Sorry. This is floating blue, not tapenade. I'm like, it looks like floating blue, but I remembered glazing it in a different area of the room, so I'm like, it can't be, but yeah. My blue heaven over white. I like the speckled stroking cloak glazes for Easter too, and we're starting to get there. And this is River Birch with peacock over top. Lavender mist over white. One more night in floating blue. A refire that is still matte and still not nice. I don't know what will fix this. It came out kind of orange peely like this on the first firing and it is persisting. So maybe try one more time on that and then very steep discount in the seconds. My blue heaven and floating blue. Both with dirty snow on the rim. That is fuzzy peach and sunrise over white. Lavender Mist. I believe this one is the refire. It had a crawl spot last time. And my floating blue and night combo really just does not work on a vertical surface. It just disappears. I need to stop trying because I just end up with plain black little pieces. Okay. This was floating sunset and a little bit of snow, and it ended up being kind of thin and ugly right here. I put ancient jasper over, and I think it's really improved it. I think that one can go in the trash. I don't know if you can see these bubbles. They will become sharp if they're broken open at all. So that's a trash. This was a refire, and I don't even know what's on it. It's just turned brown and has gone horrible. It is brown and horrible. And this is Merlot. And just Merlot by itself. It looks like it's over white, but it isn't. This is green tea over white with dirty snow. And this is peacock and seaweed. I feel like we've got some really good greens in this kiln load. Raspberry mist over white and raspberry mist over dove. Tried to help this one with ancient jasper. It had huge crawl spots last time. I think it's not really a crawl spot. It's just a different, maybe good enough to go in pottery seconds. This was the Chun Plum refire, and I tried soft red over that. I think it's better. It was just really thin last time. I was trying to thicken it up, but the edge didn't really get much thicker. It's like once a pot has been glazed once, it is so hard to get anything to stick to it. I have absolutely no idea. It is night and it is river birch and it is something else. I think it's possibly sunrise as well as those other two. But yes, really unique. And sometimes I'll glaze something and then I'll be like, oh, I'll add a little more something else. And then like an hour later, I go to put it in the kiln and I'll be like, oh, dab of this. And it'll be like, what was this? Because I glazed it over a 5-hour span and I have no idea. So this next level has a new glaze to me that I was testing out. So hopefully my glaze looks good. Okay, so the glaze review video that will be coming up later this week is sand and sea. And it looks like I've gotten some interesting results there. Look at it crawling overnight. That's interesting. Some interesting things in here. A few refires, a few big pieces. All right, it's the final shelf. Woo! My blue heaven over white with dirty snow. It's pretty. It's speckled. It's pretty. I like this bowl. See, it matches my sweater. In this, I did a little bit of my blue heaven and a little bit of purple haze. Sometimes I just like the light, bright sort of look. It's my spring look, I guess. This is a refire from long, long ago, and it is dramatically different than it was. So originally it was Dove Gray and Midnight, and the Dove Gray was super too thin. And I have put ancient jasper on this, and weird. It's like blue and crazy now. It's kind of cool. Yeah, from a weird box of extra things I had under my pottery glazing desk here. It's kind of it's not as deep as I like. I usually make these a little deeper now, but it could be a cute cactus pot. Anyway, I think it's sellable now at least, so I can at least list it. Fuzzy peach with a little bit of sunrise over Rue stoneware. Fuzzy peach is one that seems to act really well on that speckled stoneware. I'm not sure why it acts a little different than some of the other floating glazes, but for me it's healing over the manganese specks in speckled glazes more so than some of the other spectrum floating glazes, if that made sense. Smoky Merlot. I'm sorry, not Smoky Merlot. I'm calling this one Merlot. It is not the Amaco glaze. It is a mixed glaze. Mm-hmm. Purple haze, and it really isn't that much difference from some of my other ones. Is purple haze maybe just, yeah, I feel like it wants to be thicker too. It's pretty. I'm nitpicking it. I'm nitpicking it because I love Grapple so much and I love Fruit of the Vine so much that I think Speckled Haze was going to have to do a lot to compete in an already flooded purple glaze collection. Leaping Lizard with Dirty Snow. I'm running out of room. Okay, Sand and Sea over Rue. Wow, that's Rue stoneware. It's really pretty, and it came out flawless. Okay, that's a good one. Yay. Okay, I like my new glaze. Ooh, Sand and Sea. And I believe I have Dirty Snow on the rim here. I like that. And this is my control of just Sand and Sea by itself. That one got a little boo-boo of something. I don't think it's my glazing. And look. This, I believe, is just Sand and Sea with flux, but can you see how crazy? It's doing such pretty things right here. A Sand and Sea, yay. Okay, what a deal. So Sand and Sea was like $10, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna fill my cart to get the free shipping, you know? And better than expected. Okay. I could do a lot with that. I can see how that would be so good on so many things. Yes. Okay. This is it here. I'm going to look back at my application because did I do two exactly the same? Thought I was testing different glaze things. Okay. Sand and Sea over white and a little bit of a crawl there. So it doesn't like playing with others. And if this is it over black, it definitely didn't like playing with Hanson Night Glaze. But man, if it had, it would have been so pretty. Okay. And what else do I have it with? I think this is Sand and Sea with seaweed. Sorry, there's a spot on this one, and I think I might have bumped another pot with it, and that's the problem. Sand and Sea over brown bear clay. It's kind of got a nice rim to it there. Definitely breaking over that edge in an interesting way. This must be Sand and Sea with snow again. I like that. Is it possible that could have been the Sand and Sea? I fear it was this one, but I will check the footage and I will get back to you about that. It will be in the glaze review video later this week. All right. This was a purple aster over brown bear refire, and I had like one spot here. It didn't, yeah, it's healed. It's just brown. It's covered in glaze, just brown now. What else is in here? Micro ash. A little darker than expected. Parakeet. Wanted to see if it would still bubble over brown bear at this temperature, and teeny bit right there. I think it can be smoothed out though. Love that parakeet glaze too. Again with micro ash. White on the inside. Honestly, my micro ash, I mean, if I was to get it tested, the crystals are really not raised at all. I would suspect that it would test fine as dinnerware safe, at least on this cup. But, you know, on the outside of the cup for now. Night and floating blue. All right, the last few. This is micro jade. I feel like I didn't cool fast enough, maybe a little bit of overgrowth of crystals on some of those. Parakeet overnight. This is ancient jasper with a little bit of snow. Night and floating blue. These two are ancient jasper by themselves, two brushed coats. And this last one is parakeet and snow. Interesting. Overnight. It's got like this weird line. Super interesting. I think this might have been a refire to get something that interesting. So perhaps I added parakeet over the dirty snow refire piece and got that. Well, it's been a kiln load. I don't know what piece is my favorite. Anybody have any favorites here? They all look pretty good to me. Time to sell them. Now I have to photograph all this stuff today. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'd love it if you liked and subscribed, if you found some helpful glaze combinations in this load. And yeah, thanks for watching.